Well, hello, and welcome back to the studio for our latest webinar discussion, where we are looking at winning with smart recommendations. Now, recommendations are as old as retail, and nearly as old is the incredible technological and process energy in order to optimize and benefit from ever better recommendations. So we've been covering rule-based, heuristics, behavioral recommendations for many, many years. But we're now taking that up a notch by introducing a little bit of AI, trying to get a bit smarter. And instead of talking theoretically, it's my great pleasure to be joined in the studio by two very esteemed guests. We have Stefano from the one and only Armani, and Ross from the one and only Vicens. So enough intro from me. Gentlemen, welcome both to the studio. Stefano, why don't you kick us off with a quick introduction? Tell us about you, your role, and how you're using recommendations at Armani.
Hi everyone, this is Stefano Lenzi. As Ian introduced, I'm working for Giorgio Armani as Digital Business Director. At Giorgio Armani, digital business is the part of the business that is selling online, and we strive, of course, as all luxury brands, to give the best customer experience and to represent the value of the brand and to sell as much as possible our beautiful collections. I've been working with luxury brands for nearly 20 years, in the last decade in the digital business. And I have experienced many different way of improving customer experience. And honestly, I'm one of the real lover of innovation. I always strive to implement innovative solution on our websites. And one of the things that recently we have been able to implement is visual recognition. So the application of artificial intelligence in our websites, many. Armani.com is one of them, but we also manage ArmaniExchange.com and many others, being the Armani Group, a lifestyle group. So not only we have fashion brands, but we also have other kind of experiences like hotel, restaurants, flowers, sweets, sport, etc., etc. We started implementing artificial intelligence in our luxury brands. So Giorgio Armani, Emporio Armani A7, and we are seeing nice results that I'm going to discuss later on. But I let Ross to introduce himself, and then we can.
Great. Thank you, Stefano. So, Ross, tell us a bit about you and Vicens, and just give us an overview of the recommendation capabilities that you're bringing to bear here.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ian, and a pleasure to share a stage with you and Stefano. So I'm Ross Galanders. I'm the business head of EMEA for Vicens. I've been with Vicens now for about 3 years. And we work with retailers, brands, and marketplaces all around the world, helping them with product discovery, helping them with saving costs, helping them with increasing their AOV. And we do this through using AI. So what we've done in effect is we've developed through machine learning an algorithm that recognizes images. So recognizes specifically fashion and homewares images at scale very accurately, and then we do things with that. So as you'll see in a minute, we were able to, for example, extract all the text from an image, or we're able to bring back all the items that a model is wearing and do things that would be very hard for a human to do that accurately and that quickly. And so we are very fortunate in the 10 years we've been in business to be able to amass a number of real quality partners. And Armani is right up there with a company that not only has the presence in the marketplace and has the quality images, but also has the desire to use technology to be able to get those marginal gains that you get with smart recommendations, to be able to offer very hyper-personalized recommendations to customers using AI.
Mm. Let me ask you a question quickly before we go on to look at the market, which is, I'm not a betting man, but if you offered me the likelihood of being able to spot a white T-shirt versus another generic white T-shirt, I'd have a go at that. Whereas if you said, I want to release AI on a super prestigious, curated, globally unique, highly visible set of products, doesn't that introduce a whole new level of risk and, by extension, a higher level of confidence that your AI isn't going to mess it up? How did you go from your generic AI that everyone seems to have to this highly tuned, you can trust Armani with their brand? What's that shift that was needed, Ross?
So the shift is in terms of confidence levels. And so one of the things, of course, is having the quality AI. So being able to train an algorithm over a decade and pushing billions and billions of images through that algorithm so it learns as it goes along. So one is just the quality of solutions that we have. The other one is working very closely with Stefano and his team to make sure that we've indexed his images and that we're able to recognize specific Armani images, and that any results that we bring back to Armani always come with a confidence score as well. So that confidence score then becomes almost like a fail-safe mechanism, so that the results are only displayed once they exceed that confidence threshold.
Very interesting. Before we go on to Armani, then, Ross, tell us a little bit about personalization. So from our perspective, you can't really have a conversation about selling without personalization coming in there somewhere. But how is the market looking and the adoption by retailers and brands?
Yeah, I would say broadly speaking, and this is speaking very broadly, there's kind of three types of company out there. So one would be a company that, if you can still believe it, has no recommendations at all, that drives people to the website, but then doesn't really convert those customers as well as they could. They're not offering them alternatives. The second type is somebody who kind of swings the pendulum the other way. And we see a lot of that where people offer recommendations, lots of recommendations, and there's almost the paradox of choice. And we see this right across the web. People then get swamped by choice and they end up getting paralyzed by it, and they don't choose anything. And then so what we've been working on then is much more targeted recommendations, much more hyper-personalized recommendations, which of course become a lot harder now with the over the next year or so, the third-party cookies becoming harder to use. So how can you personalize an experience for customers on a website without breaching GDPR, without using third-party cookies? And you can do that through using visual AI, by using the cues, the signals on the image that the people are looking at on the PDP. So you're looking at let's say this picture here with the lady with the mustard suit. Why has someone come to this page? So what we look at is the path they took to that page. What are the products they looked at on that session? What brought them there? But also the actual product itself. What are some of the key visual features of that? The color, the shape, the style, and try and bring back recommendations that are personalized to the path they took to the PDP and visual signals on that PDP. And when you combine those two, you get very, very high conversion rates, click-through rates, increase in AOV, and it delivers right to the bottom line.
Okay, great. Well, let's have a look at this now in real life. So we had to look at the Armani site earlier on, and here we've got a screencast. Maybe just talk us through this, Stefano. What were you trying to achieve here, and talk us about the customer experience you've designed?
Yeah, so first of all, it's always very difficult to put online what a designer thinks, and being in their mind is even more difficult. What I learned so far in my few years of experience working with luxury brands is that customers want to get straight to the final purchase without wasting too much time. And if you think that more and more products are the same, but you want to differentiate on services, on speed, on anything that inspire you, the visual recognition at a sense serve these purposes. And what we have done had exactly this reason behind. So both in terms of increasing and improving the conversion and the customer from a side, but on the other side, improving the way of working inside our organization. In fact, what you are seeing now online is the ability to go very quickly from a product to another that composes a look. So this is an experience that is quite common. The very big difference on what we have done is the execution. So the system recognizes the image of the look. For example, this lady here wearing not only a top, but also a bottom, shoes, bags, jewelry. And the image recognition fill in what we call look. So underneath the hero image, the complete the look is totally done automatically by the system. So what Ross was saying before, so how can we trust the technology to provide the same, the good result for us? Lots of work behind it. It's not just that you implement it. You go to Ross, you say, Ross, can you give me your system? You implement it and it works. No, it took us a lot to implement it, meaning that the system had to learn, had to, of course, improve the results in order for us to be confident enough that what we show is what we really want to show. We cannot, for example, show a pair of pink trousers in a Giorgio Armani look that might cost $20,000. So we have to be very careful in this. And first of all, we want to implement innovation and improve all the processes and the customer experience, but without compromising our DNA. And our value as quality is timeless elegance. So I cannot just push a pair of underwear because, for example, it's got a very high conversion. So we have to be very careful in this. We did a huge work together with Vicens in order to improve the results. And now we're very happy because in the different use cases that we implemented, we showed the complete the look, but at the same time, underneath there was the visually similar item. This is something that's it's working, and it's working means in terms of conversion, we realize that every visitors that interact with that object has got 3 times the probability to buy the item.
Wow.
Other other journeys. So
that is a very significant increase.
It's a significant increase, but again, it's not only the increase of the conversion, it's also the fact that before I was not able to have this item in the site, the complete the look, because I didn't have a person to do it. Now it's the technology doing it. Another use case that follows the same results and pattern is shopping of social posts. Nowadays, aspirational digital shopping experience is key. We need to inspire people not only through the website and content, but through social. What we've done in the site, we have linked all our social posts to products, obviously where you have the rights to do it. And we started doing it manually, but he was taking lots of time. And so we did the next step, and we use artificial intelligence also to link the product of the social post, of the models. This is another example.
And Stefano, can I be clear there? In the old days, when we first saw this complete the look, maybe on sites like Net-a-Porter, Mr. Porter, it seemed to be very much linked around the photography. So you would take an outfit, they'd mark down the SKUs, that would form part of the back office data overhead, and it was incredible. Another way of doing it is by broad categorization. So if you look at a V-neck jumper in cashmere, find other people in these. Can I just check my understanding here that you're not doing any of those? This is based on visual recognition of the image as being shown, and that's done in real time. So you're doing away with the photography studio data overhead and the broad brush categorization, and it's just being done by AI and visual recognition. Am I correct there?
We don't remove the shooting part. So what AI does is that they Vicens processes all the different images. And in the example that you were showing before, among the images of the product, there is an image of a look. So it recognizes the look and learn the way that Giorgio Armani needs to dress people. And this is, in fact, something that we want to go the next level and do what we call internally advise my look. So if we teach the intelligence of the system that Mr. Armani wants to give a specific look and a specific way to dress to a certain garment, the system understands that if I'm wearing this jacket, probably it's good if I have a white shirt or a blue shirt and not a yellow one. Maybe if I go to Dolce & Gabbana, they like yellow, or another brand likes red. For us, instead, the elegance needs to be timeless, and hence I'm wearing white shirt. So this is what the system learn, and this could be the next, and what we are discussing actually is exactly this. In the future, we would like to implement other way of developing this technology in suggesting a look with something that is already in your wardrobe. So you have this pair of trousers, great. If you go to the Armani site, you are probably suggested to wear a blue shirt or another item that is in the collection, because the system knows how Mr. Armani would create the look. So this is very advanced in terms of course, putting together. And as you mentioned at the beginning, you need to be very careful, because Mr. Armani, I can tell you for experience, can really be very specific in his request. In my case, I've been called by him personally, and he started asking me why we were showing certain things on the website and not others. And that happened exactly right before we implemented Vicens. I mentioned I had the right person in the organization to do this kind of looks, and these actually accelerate a lot. And Ross remembered the pressure we started putting to them, because it was him asking to do something better on the website and to represent what he really would like the fashion world to be. Therefore, I felt that we could not fail. So far, I haven't had any complaint.
Good. So endorsed by Mr. Armani himself. No pressure for you there, Ross.
No pressure.
So I did throw up earlier on, and let's go back to that example now. We have here what looks like a complete a look capability. So who wants to talk us through what's happening here?
I can touch on that. So I think Stefano described it very well, which is, we're on a journey with Armani, and we've implemented a number of solutions in with Armani across the different sites. But so far, it's been focused on what you can see. So, as you described, the beautiful model image that's cost a lot of money to take, we can extract all the different items from that. This is the hat, these are the gloves, these are the shoes. But the next stage that we're working on with Armani is the things that you cannot see. So the extra thing that goes with this, the bag with this, perhaps. And that requires not just the visual AI, but it also requires a knowledge of the Armani style guides as well. So that it's not, what we might recommend for Armani might be different than we might recommend for, perhaps a marketplace or a high street retailer. So it's a different approach. But some of the things we're working on with Armani are very exciting. This, what we call complete the look, or showing the things you cannot see, is really exciting. Another one we're working on with Armani, which is also live at the moment in certain countries, is the smart search. The ability for Armani shoppers to be able to bring in an image that they like, a completely new image, and for us to be able to take that image, process it in a quarter of a second, and bring them back the matching Armani products. And that visual search really over-indexes, particularly with younger female shoppers, and putting the power back into the hands of the customers, I know, is something that's close to Stefano's heart as well.
And again, just to be operational.
Sorry, if I can just add on, the use case that Ross just explained, which is having your mobile ahead, looking at something that you like, snapping a photo, and having from the catalog of Armani the product that is the most similar, if it's not exactly that, is something that is super useful also in a shop where a sales associate might want to check stock availability, and instead of getting into the app of the stock, the QR code or the barcode or whatever you have, you make it super easy, faster to snap a photo and see the product, which is something that again help a lot in this case the sales associate, but at the same time the customer experience, because the customer does not have to wait, so it's the visual search is something that as Ross mentioned, I'm very, very proud of what we have implemented with Vicens, and I believe there is lots of things that we can still do because it's super effective.
I mean, what's exciting here for me is seeing, when we look at an image like this, it's taking very highly styled editorial images, not only doing the image recognition, which I'm already taking for granted. Now I've seen it working, I expect it to be everywhere. But it's also linking it into, the idea of the look behind the scenes, product availability, optimal recommendation. I mean, there's a lot of work going on here that it would be easy to take as magic, but in fact, it does require quite a lot of process engineering behind it. So when you look at something like seeding the looks, how do you communicate with Vicens to make sure that it is always understanding the new look, as products change for each season, or as lookbooks develop or things go out of product? What's the day-to-day or week-to-week communication like between your team, Stefano, and the AI magic making?
Well, everything happens with the reading of the images. So what we do, we exchange on a daily basis feeds with images that Vicens processes, and the intelligence, the artificial intelligence, learn from these images. So when before I was mentioning a, a use case that we haven't implemented that yet, but we would like quickly to implement. So the suggestion linked to the wardrobe. This is the classical example of intelligence that of a system like Vicens that recognize looks that fit together. So products that make a look from the idea of Mr. Armani eventually apply to your wardrobe. So think of you in the morning that want to wear something cool, and you have a pair of trousers and you don't know exactly what to match with, having the suggestion of an app that gives you what a brand would recommend you. I don't want to say names here. It's huge. So of course, this is the final goal for me, to be able to recommend everyone in the world of on how to wear with things they have already in the wardrobe, and show them that in case they want to pair it with an Armani jacket, trouser, shirt, whatever, they will look even better. So it's pretty
Well,
big.
Stefano, I could see in the comments already people responding saying that's exactly how we want to get ready in the morning, is pick something and then get something from from Armani. Thank you for including us even in that lovely visualization. Now, one other slide we have here is of the visual recommendations. So this is working on the mobile site. Just tell us what we're looking at here, where we are completing the look.
So basically here you're looking at the style of this lady on the left that has been worn by Mr. Armani for a lookbook. And the customer started the journey by looking at the shirt, but might like also the trousers that she's wearing, or the jacket. What you find, or the bag, or the shoes, what you find underneath is exactly the full look as Mr. Armani has decided to do it. And underneath, instead, you have another option, which is the similar, which are items that might be visually similar to the one that you're looking at. And so maybe they are better for you, because might be that the item that you originally selected has got some detail that you don't like. So that way you are still browsing the catalog, but not for an item that is completely different. Instead, it's something very similar. Artificial intelligence can go a step further, which is showing something that is maybe not related at all to what you were looking at, but you might have to sell a different item. And this is Amazon-like, no? That you end up buying something that's is totally unnecessary, but in that moment you want it, and it becomes something that you cannot really leave it there. So that is also working as another artificial intelligence use case, and is converting as much as visually similar item or complete the look.
Wonderful. Now, Stefano, you've painted an incredible picture for us. Beautiful products, lovely looks, and incredible ROI as well. When you look back on the journey so far, what has surprised you? Was there one thing that was harder than you thought, and one thing that was much easier than you thought? Where are the surprises been? Because this all sounds so amazingly wonderful. I just need to know, was it all just easy, or was it something difficult? And was there something then that surprised you with how easy it was?
No, it wasn't easy, and I honestly, what surprised me was that it's been harder than I thought in the implementation phase, because I hoped that the technology is so advanced that it just requires some warm-up period of the system to digest images. Instead, it requires lots of feedback from us, lots of fix, and of course, it also depends the partner that you work with, the technology that you're on. So I'm only be able to say that with the technology stack that we had some work to do, probably longer than expected for me, at least. I was expecting it to implement it in a few weeks. It took us a few months, but at the end, I mean, what it counts is that the solution is working and it gives us lots of joy for the moment. And we are still half the way, because as we were, we have many cases that we want to implement. One of them that we just said, Ross was mentioning, that I don't have it yet, is to me a game changer as well, which is the ability to enhance the search through attributes. So today, if you go on site and you search for a beautiful Armani red dress for a wedding, you get no results. When we will implement the attributes, so the automatic attributes that the system is able to assign to a garment, I will have a wider search results, surely more wider than today results. Tomorrow, hopefully, I will have some results. So that will convert. I know that converts. I've seen in other websites, and I'm positive that is going to be a changer for us together with the others. So I have expectation on that as well. And last thing, we want to implement this in store as well, because I mentioned before the sales associate. We're testing here. I have it here in my office on the other side of the room. A smart mirror that has the same functionality, but in my idea will be put both in the showroom and in the store to help customer to find in a smart way product. So that's another thing that we have in the pipeline that we would like soon to deploy as a test.
So Ross, it sounds like you're going to be busy. Let's just turn to you as we run up against our time here. Stefano has not only painted a picture of some capable technology at the moment, but some things he's looking at imminently. Can you maybe take us into next year, beyond the next and into the medium term? Where do you think this is developing? We've seen image processing, product attributes, business rules, multi-channel, online and offline, social. What comes next? What would you be planning for already?
Well, specifically with Armani, of course, we're always working to improve the results that we have. That's definitely an ongoing process, because it is artificial intelligence. It's constantly learning, so that's constantly improving. And as you say, Stefano, it's a great partner to work with, keeps us very busy, holds us to account, but is very prepared to test and put visual AI into different places, whether it's the store, whether it's into the demand forecasting side of the business, the back end, the front end. And so that's a very exciting journey for us. Some of the areas we're looking at in 2023 revolve around things like data. That would be new for us as well. We've done quite a bit of work on that this year, where we're looking at, for example, if I speak outside of Armani for a second and look at where we're going as a company, it's things like bringing in hundreds of thousands of Instagram images and processing them and being able to extract data from them very quickly in a matter of minutes in a way that humans just could not, and able to extract insights, trends, shapes, colors. and be able to then feed that into companies like Armani, who can then make decisions based upon that. Or, for example, with the visual search we talked about before, where Armani customers will be putting up images and searching with images, extracting meaningful insights and text from those visual search query images, so that in a very GDPR friendly way, you're extracting the text from those images, deleting the images, but then giving Stefano insight into what is the customer intent, what are they looking at, what are the products and the looks and the styles that are causing them to use visual search. And all that kind of data then feeds back in, makes our engine better, but also empowers people like Stefano to be able to make very solid business decisions.
Wow. So things that we've been talking about for years somehow is going to come in the future. It sounds like 2023 is when the future arrives for us, Ross. Thank you so much for that. I'm sure we'll have questions and comments coming through, which we'll pass on to you. And I definitely think, Stefano, if you're willing, this is a topic we'd love to return to next year, and maybe even see some of the magic mirrors in store and the social media as well. So if you'll indulge us, it would be wonderful to pick up on this sometime in 2023. But for now, an enormous thank you, Stefano in particular, for joining us from Italy today and being so open and sharing your journey with us. Congratulations on how amazing that looks. And Ross, thank you again. Pleasure to see you in the studio. And thank you as well for just explaining some of the capabilities there. So that's it from the studio for today. We've run out of time, sadly. I feel we could have talked a lot longer. If you're watching this live, hello. And as soon as this is over, we will send you a link so you can get a download of the recording, listen to it again and pick out any things you want to ask about. And we'll also make sure there's a link to the pages we've referenced, so you can go and experience those from a consumer perspective as well. So that's it. Thank you again for lending us your time. From the studio, thank you, Stefano and Ross. And that's it for now. So thank you all very much, and wishing you happy trading. Thank you.
Bye.